Yeah, this is really new territory for everyone. It's going to be a draft we've never seen before. There's no big announcement followed by cheers or those never-ending boos. There's no walking across the stage. Instead, Roger Goodell will be announcing picks from his basement as prospects wait for phone calls while inside their near-empty homes. The best part about the draft, in my opinion, is seeing that prospect's reaction. And while he won't be walking across the stage, putting that hat on, we will still see the excitement that comes with being drafted. ESPN and ABC planning on having cameras in each prospect's living room. They'll still be telling those feel-good stories, the ones where we learn about the player off the field. Those stories are what the fans love to see. And ABC and ESPN is committed to making this virtual draft a much-needed escape for any sports fan.
You're still going to get all of the elements that you've come to know and love. They're just going to be virtually. It's just going to look like a Skype or a FaceTime interview with the player or a mom or a dad or a family member. But we've got our cameras everywhere, and so we're going to be ready to roll.
The NFL Draft is a sporting event. It's not a quote-unquote game. It's not a competition being played on a field. But without a doubt, every year, the NFL Draft is one of the biggest sporting events in this country. And the fact that it's still going on, even though it's going to look a lot different for fans at home, this is huge. This is something to put a smile on our faces. And I'm really, really glad that this is going on as planned.
Yeah, there may be some technical glitches, but like Jesse said, this is what sports fans need right now, and they'll do everything to make this weekend's event a successful one. But hey, how are fans handling these changes? For more on that, we go out to New Era Field with Hannah Bueller.
It's NFL Draft Day. Usually the front office is filled with front office staff making difficult decisions about the team. There's usually a party going on for Buffalo Bills season ticket holders. But this draft day hits just a little bit differently, not just for Bills fans, but for sports fans across the nation.
I still want to see football no matter what.
Colin Carlucci and his dad Matt have been using Zoom so much for interaction during social distancing, they created a green screen in their basement.
This is how I showed up to my meeting this morning.
Of course, today they're sitting in the stands virtually at New Era Field, and there hasn't been any sports in weeks.
It's kind of weird just to look on your TV and you just see replays of games from 10 years ago.
With the 2020 NFL Draft taking place virtually this year, the Carluccis, who are Bills season ticket holders, can't help but wonder what impact COVID-19 will have on the 2020 season.
I can't live without football.
The home opener, right, and home games are a holiday in Buffalo.
It's a tough thought for Bills season ticket holder Sean Carroll.
I'm sure the players, they feed off the crowd and the energy.
The NFL released a statement to me saying, in part, we are planning on playing the 2020 season on time and in its entirety. We will be prepared for all alternatives and adjust accordingly.
We may very well be seeing at least a truncated season or a different season.
Nellie Drew is the director of the Center for the Advancement of Sport at the University at Buffalo. She says the biggest problem for the NFL and any major sporting industry is liability.
But the problem is even the very best, clinicians and public health experts are still figuring this one out.
Drew says one of the most feasible possibilities would be to have the season go on without fans in the stands. But even then, that could be a challenge.
It would take a lot of sophisticated planning and, probably require isolating the people involved.
For Buffalo Bills fans and season ticket holders like Carol and the Carlucci family, it's a wait-and-see scenario. Usually, fans are hoping and praying the Bills make it to the postseason. This year, fans are hoping and praying to step foot here at New Era Field come September. Reporting in Orchard Park, Hannah Bueller, 7 Eyewitness News.
Yeah, Hannah, thanks. I think football fans are just hoping that the season is able to start on time. All right, coming up in just a bit, last year it seems like a pipe dream that Ed Oliver would fall to the Bills, but he did and turned some heads in his rookie year. We chat about him and his expectations for the season coming up. And with everything going on in the world, we wanted to showcase some of the good things Bills players are doing in their communities, like Tremaine Edmonds and his brothers, handing out thousands of meals for kids who rely on school lunches in their hometown of Norfolk, Virginia. These trying times have really brought out some of the best in the Bills leaders. They are doing a great job. Stick with us, everybody. We'll be right back.
You're watching the 2020 Buffalo Bills Draft Special on 7 ABC. Brought to you by Ross Salino and Family.
Back. I hope everybody at home is getting everything ready for tonight. Maybe some pizza, a couple pops. But for the Bills, these next few hours are really about seeing how the board falls and what players could be available on Friday. So here are the picks currently owned by the Bills. No first rounder because of the Diggs deal, but they do have 2 picks tomorrow at number 54 and 86, and then 5 picks in rounds 4 through 7, which at least tells me they have ammunition to move up the board either tomorrow or Saturday if they have a guy they really like. So let's look at some of the different options. We asked you yesterday on social media which position you think the Bills should be targeting. More than 1,000 fans responded, and just about half of you said they should be going after an edge rusher in the second round. 26% of you said you think that they should draft a playmaker on offense. You can make the argument either way. We'll start, though, with the wide receiver class. This group loaded with skill. A lot of experts have said this is the best class in recent memory, and I know, the Bills have 3 awesome options with Diggs, John Brown, and Cole Beasley. But if there is a bigger-bodied wide receiver available at number 54, I can see them making that pick. Listen, Brown and Beasley are both older than 30, and last year the Bills stayed really healthy at the position all year. If they don't draft a wide receiver this year, they'll still, be fine, but they could get some great value, especially with how deep this class is. As for the running backs, the question becomes who is going to play alongside Devin Singletary? We all can agree he had a very productive rookie season, but I don't think he's ready quite yet to be the guy who gets 20, 25 carries a game. The position has lost a bit of luster over the years, which maybe makes one of you wonder, should they really waste a second-round pick on this? But if they do this, the Bills basically would lock up and solidify their backfield for the next 4 or 5 years. But Adam, you can always make a case for the big guys up front too.
Exactly. Devin Singletary and his partner in the backfield, whoever that may be at the end of the offseason, will be well taken care of in the short term. The offensive line overhaul last offseason really paid off in spades for the Bills. But here's the thing. John Feliciano, Mitch Morse, and Quinton Spain are all at least 28 years old, and protecting Josh Allen and the running back core is essential in the long term as well. Somebody like Cesar Ruiz out of Michigan, or on the outside, Ezra Cleveland out of Boise State, or even in a dream scenario, it's a very deep offensive tackle class as well. Maybe trade back up earlier in the second round for somebody who could push Cody Ford for that starting right tackle spot. Now, on the other side of the ball, staying in the trenches still, though, let's talk about the edge rushers. It's another position where the Bills could afford to get younger. Jerry Hughes, Trent Murphy, and Mario Addison all over 30. Someone like Josh Uche from Michigan, or somebody like Jonathan Grenard, a grad transfer out of Florida, could fall to the Bills at 54. But another person to watch slip might be A.J. Espinosa out of Iowa. The lack of speed there might turn some teams off, so if the price is right, they could move back up for that as well. If it's not a second-round pick on the edge, you can bet on the third round or early on day 3. Jenna?
All right, when it comes to quarterback, this is what you have. Tre'Davious White and everyone else. Levi Wallace, the starter opposite White last season, really had an up-and-down year. The Bills did add 2 newcomers in Josh Norman and E.J. Gaines. They do add some competition, but none of them really stand out as that clear number 2 behind White. So adding a young body is a viable option. White's expected to be paid big. So a player like Mississippi State's Cameron Dantzler or Alabama's Trey Diggs, yeah, we all know that last name, they can develop under a rookie contract, could be the way to go when building that cornerback depth chart. All right, so every guy tonight hoping to hear his name called on the other side of the break. Matt Bove catches up with the guy who had that happen last year. Ed Oliver talks about his rookie season and his horses. And credit where credit is due to Bills center Mitch Morse and his wife Caitlin, who donated $100,000 to the food bank of Western New York. Morse just finished his first season in Buffalo, already giving back, an amazing gesture. Stay right here. We'll be right back.
With the 9th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Ed Oliver, defensive tackle, Houston.
You know, I remember sitting at the stadium last year before the draft started thinking to myself, there is no way that Ed Oliver falls to the Bills. But that's why this is so great. Every year something crazy happens. Oliver, a bit slow out of the gate as a rookie, but then the season started, it progressed, and so did he. And this year, he thinks the sky's the limit.
That particular day, I had to ride in the morning. It was early, too. There you go. Come on. Come on.
Ed Oliver spends his mornings doing two things, working out and riding horses.
So get my morning workout in early, and then for the rest of the day, mess with them horses or mess with forward. I don't know, just do it, but just to kind of like pass the time.
Oliver's rookie year was a bit like learning how to ride a horse. It was bumpy in the beginning, but then he found his stride.
You just got to go out there and make the decision whether you want to be great or you want to be average. And I refuse to settle for average, so it's kind of like a flip, just switch, and I just kind of settled in, and I just handle my business towards the end of the year.
There wasn't one particular turning point, but in that game against Dallas on Thanksgiving, Oliver started to feel it.
And they get to Prescott. And it is Oliver.
But when you're confident, you go out there and you're playing good, it's easy.
It has been a crazy year for number 91. Just a year ago, he was getting ready for the NFL Draft with no idea where he would end up. Then the Bills selected him with the 9th pick, creating what Oliver believes is the start of something special.
The sky's the limit, and we knew that last year, and you know that it ain't going in this year. The sky's the limit. We can be as good as we want to be, we can be as bad as we want to be.
Oliver says he immediately fell for Buffalo.